Good morning and welcome to our Girl Scout Sunday service. We will begin this morning's service with the ringing of the kansho,
followed by the chanting of Junirai.
Namanda, Butsanamanda, 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 Butsanamanda. 예수 대리 쇼크요 知識往生不退死亡内音が将来みなそ多節に尊具の具寺自然変境界水小逆前言小異常異者平成史上小異非語Amanda, Butsanamanda, 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 Amanda, Butsanamanda, Butsanamanda, Yawanda, Butsanamanda.
Please join us in restudying the golden chain.
Please join me in kansho. I am the link in the Mita's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I'll try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that my actions will result in not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also the happiness or unhappiness of others. May every link in the Mita's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Hello, I'm Kendall, and I'm here with Kira and Karumi to give a Dharma talk about the movie Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph longs to be loved as his game's perfect good guy, Fix-It Felix. Problem is, no one loves the villain, but they do love heroes. So, when a modern first-person shooter game arrives, Ralph sees it as his ticket to heroism and happiness. He game hops into the game with the simple plan, win a medal, but soon fails at his plan and accidentally unleashes a deadly virus that threatens every game in the arcade. Ralph's only hope? Vanellope Von Sweets, a young troublemaking glitch from a candy cart racing game who might just be the only one to teach Ralph what it means to be a good guy. But will he realize he is good enough to become a hero before game is over for the whole entire arcade? I will be focusing on the beginning of the story. Ralph feels jealousy. He is jealous of Felix getting all the rewards and praise. Then, while trying to solve his own problem, he disrupts another game for his own selfish needs, making things even worse. Even though he was warned not to, he still went through with his plan. While trying to find his medal, he runs into Vanellope. Then, Ralph uses her in order to gain his selfish wanting, which was the medal. This would hurt her in the end. This would represent the first half of the Four Noble Truths. 1, there is suffering, and 2, we are the cause of it. When Ralph decided to game hop, he was being reckless and selfish. Because Ralph didn't come back to his original game for a while, his game was unable to go on. No villain, no problem to fix. He didn't stop to think about how his actions would affect others. Ralph was trying to follow the third noble truth, we can end our suffering. But he did not follow with the last one. In order to end our suffering, we should follow the Eightfold Path. He repeats this action, fooling Vanellope into getting his medal back. He already was suffering in the shadow of Felix. Then he caused even more with Vanellope. At the climax, Ralph sees the problems that he has caused and realizes that he can go to the mountain and defeat the virus. Ralph is trying to do the third noble truth. We can remedy our own suffering, but he was causing more problems instead. The fourth noble truth is that we can resolve our suffering by following the Eightfold Path. Kurumi's section will explain more about the Eightfold Path.
Hi, my name is Kurumi. I'm going to be talking about when Ralph did not see Vanellope's side of the story and broke her car. You might be wondering who Vanellope is. Vanellope is a character who helps Ralph become a better person. Building on to what Kendall said about suffering, I'm going to talk about how Ralph continues to suffer when he doesn't follow the Eightfold Path. I'm also going to talk about how Ralph and Vanellope show impermanence and interdependence. Ralph has been suffering because of being the villain in Fix-It Felix. Ralph continues to suffer and makes everyone else suffer too. How Ralph didn't see Vanellope's side of the story led to not using the Eightfold Path. Right view. Ralph listens to the lie King Candy told, and that led him to not knowing the real story about Vanellope. By believing King Candy, Ralph broke Vanellope's car to stop her from entering the race. After doing this, Ralph finally learned the truth and how he was mistaken, and Ralph uses the Eightfold Path to save Vanellope and her game. Some examples of the Eightfold Path from the movie are right view, when Ralph sees what he was doing was hurting other people. Right thought, when Ralph saw that Vanellope could not go through the portal and could not be saved, he realized it was up to him to save the arcade. Right speech, when a group of villains from the arcade are having the therapy session, they say the motto, I'm bad and that's good. I will never be good and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me. Right conduct, when Felix left the game to find Ralph to save the arcade. Right livelihood, when Ralph accepts his role in the game as a bad guy. Right effort, when Ralph creates the light source to get rid of the virus. Right mindfulness, when Ralph realizes that he can stop the virus to make up for all the problems that he caused. Right meditation, when Ralph realizes it is okay to have a bad image on the outside, but it does not mean that you are bad inside. This movie shows both interdependence and impermanence as well. Interdependence means that we all rely and influence one another. Wreck-It Ralph showed interdependence by Vanellope entering the race to get Ralph's gold medal back, and Ralph helped Vanellope make her car and taught her how to drive to prepare for the race. Impermanence means that nothing stays the same, everything changes. Wreck-It Ralph shows impermanence by Ralph being the villain in the game, but after he saved Vanellope's game, he became a hero to Vanellope. To talk about the climax and the ending of the movie, here is Kira.
Hi, my name is Kier. Later in the movie, it's revealed that King Candy was another character in disguise. King Candy, previously known as Turbo, is a character notorious for invading other games and removing them from the arcade forever. Turbo does not learn that he causes his own suffering because of his greed to become the greatest racer ever. After learning that King Candy is actually Turbo, Ralph helps to evacuate people out of the deteriorating game and into a safer place. While helping people evacuate, Ralph suffers as he watches Vanellope fail to go through the barrier into the power strip, which is safe from the virus. As Ralph watches the world around him fall apart, he realizes that he caused all of the problems and his own suffering because he wanted to be a good guy and get a medal for once. He then puts forth the effort and creates a deadly light source to attract all the viruses from a mixture of Mentos and cola from the mountain, saving everybody. In the end scenes, Ralph mentions to Vanellope that he has a purpose, to wreck the building in the video game Fix-It Felix Jr. He even improves the game Fix-It Felix Jr. by incorporating lost characters such as Cubert, whose games are gone, and overall helps other people find their place. In the end, Ralph realizes that even though his character may be a bad guy in the game, he is not a bad guy outside of the game. He is an integral part of the game and contributes to a bigger picture which is known as the arcade game Fix-It Felix Jr. This represents the Four Noble Truths and how Ralph realizes that life is suffering, he causes his own suffering, and he can stop his suffering by doing things that conform to the Eightfold Path. As you can see, we were able to find many Buddhist lessons within the movie. Some examples are suffering, impermanence, interdependence, and compassion. Ralph is a great example of the Four Noble Truths and how he realizes that his first solution was making everyone suffer. In the end, actions that represent the Eightfold Path, he was able to see a better way to solve problems. Please join us in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namanda Butsu 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 Namanda Butsu. Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you enjoyed the Padma Dharma talk by Kendall, Kiara, and Kurumi. I was very impressed by their observations after they watched Wreck-It Ralph. They found many Buddhist lessons in it. While reflecting on Ralph's actions in this movie, they showed us how the teaching of the Four Noble Truths makes us aware of the reasons why we suffer, and how the practice of the Eightfold Path leads us to overcoming our suffering so that we can live a successful life. These are fundamental teachings of Buddhism, which we should always keep in mind. So I applaud these girls for their thoughtful efforts. You did a great job. Also, I really appreciate their advisors for their guidance in helping the girls create such a wonderful Dharma talk. All of them made a great team and they did a great job. As you know, March is Girl Scout month at our temple. Our Girl Scouts usually have the responsibility of chairing the Sunday service. Although this year we are not able to see all of our Girl Scouts in person at the temple, I am very glad to see that 5 of them will receive their Padma Award during today's service. I know how much they studied and worked hard in the past year to earn this meaningful award while sequestering at home. Although our entire Sangha has had to deal with the unfavorable situation created by the pandemic, our scouts have continued to build their confidence, courage, and character through our Girl Scout program. I'm impressed by how they are meeting this challenge. I have no doubt that these fine individuals will go on to contribute their efforts not only within the BCA, but also to the rest of society. For these reasons, I'd like to thank all the advisors who, with their unselfish energy and efforts, encouraged these girls to achieve their goal. お疲れ様でした。I really appreciate your dedication. Whenever I see our young girls working hard in harmony and with a strong sense of responsibility through their Girl Scout programs and activities, Dharma School, Miroku, and YBA, I really look forward to more women who will play an active part in shaping both our community and the world, because I firmly believe that women can make the world better than one shaped by male dominance. Buddhism has been practiced for over 2,500 years, and the Buddha's teaching has been handed down to us today because of the great efforts of women as well as men. I always like to share the story of a village daughter, Sujata, who offered milk porridge to Siddhartha before he attained enlightenment. As you might remember, after enduring all kinds of severe practice, Siddhartha was extremely exhausted. No matter how desperately he tried to attain enlightenment by performing these practices, he was not able to free himself from the fundamental suffering. After 6 years of this strict way of life, both Siddhartha's body and mind had weakened tremendously. At that time, he finally understood that these ascetic practices were worthless. So he left the forest in order to seek a healthy way of awakening. But Siddhartha no longer had enough energy to continue. He was so exhausted, he was not able to move at all. By depriving himself daily for such a long period, he had become skin and bones. This was probably the most critical moment of his life, because he was so close to death. But at that time, Sujata, the daughter of a village elder, approached Siddhartha and offered milk and rice porridge to Siddhartha, which he gratefully accepted. Because of her thoughtful and compassionate act, Siddhartha was able to regain his health. He washed himself in the river and then sat in meditation under the Bodhi tree. After 49 days, Siddhartha finally attained enlightenment. After his unsuccessful search for enlightenment through severe physical deprivation, it was Sujata who came forward to save Siddhartha's life. If she had not done so, Siddhartha would not have found enlightenment. And we today would not be here together to encounter the Buddha Dharma or the Nimbutsu teaching. So I think that Sujata ought to be more well known as a noteworthy woman who helped Siddhartha attain enlightenment, the ultimate human achievement. Throughout history, there have been many great women who devoted their lives for the prosperity of Buddhism. Buddhism emphasizes the teaching of equality, and just as Buddhism has been supported by countless wonderful women, we should understand how our community is sustained by many women leaders. This year, we saw the historic U.S. event when Kamala Harris was inaugurated as the U.S. Vice President. She became both the first female and our first Black Vice President. In making history, she said things like, "This is a country of possibilities, and I may be the first woman to hold this office, but I won't be the last." I know many girls living in the US were impressed and inspired by her acceptance speech. We are also so fortunate to have Ellen Kame as our temple member. As you know, she became the mayor of the city of Mountain View this past January. She also made history because she's a woman, Japanese American, and the Mountain View city's first Buddhist mayor. It's amazing. I believe that Ellen's great achievement also gives the young people in our Sangha courage and hope about America's future. It is exciting to see what the leadership role the successful women can play in our community. Buddhism emphasizes the teaching of equality, and just as Buddhism has been supported by countless wonderful women, our community should include many more women leaders alongside the men. May our Girl Scouts continue to build their character, courage, confidence, and responsibilities through the experience of our successful Girl Scout program so that they can make the world a better place for all people. I sincerely hope that we can realize a wonderful world where all women will be proud and confident of their talents and abilities so that they won't be afraid to become leaders who contribute to the well-being of their community and the world. Again, congratulations on your great achievement. I'm really proud of you. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together in gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu.
Thank you to the Padma Scouts and to Reverend Mukojima for your Dharma talk today.
This concludes this year's Girl Scout Sunday service. We hope you are all staying safe and healthy. We hope to see you in person soon.